in the major representing North America, they take a huge turn for the better. And I'm sure the players are very, very well aware of that. Coming in right now, guaranteed 380 points by the end of this. Another 410, perhaps, another 30 if they can win here. We will see. We're underway now with game number 1. Arsenal will not see the first few seconds of it. He's taken off the field by Toasty. And that physical play is something you can expect constantly. It's been big for Oxygen today, more so for Spacestation throughout the tournament.
Yeah.
And Daniel, of course, also a huge factor. The rookie has been sensational. So too has LJ.
Oh my goodness.
And Gimmick kept that out too. How in the world have Oxygen escaped this without conceding a goal?
And they finally get the big clear as well. I have no idea. Stacks, incredible saves coming out from Oxygen already. But they're feeling that pressure from Space Station. It's a big worry, I think, if you're an Oxygen fan, to see Space Station come out so quickly and have so much control right off the bat. Oxygen have to find a way to get a grip in this first minute, and maybe this is an opportunity for them to do so. Toasty wants to find LJ, and he pulls off as the first minute has come and gone. Space Station threatening again.
Oxygen fans, ironically, holding their breath there for the first 30 seconds as Space Station Gaming let loose an unrelenting salvo at their net, but we remain scoreless. First minute plus gone by. Daniel gonna set up another one. That's easily cleared by Toasty. Out to Gimmick. Downfield goes Oxygen. They finally enjoy some zone time on the orange half of the field, but it's short-lived. Here goes Arsenal. He's got both teammates well behind him, but Reddle's catching up, and nothing happens there as Toasty's got the clear. Daniel's still caught up with this, and he's taken out by Gimmick.
Talked a lot about Daniel on Space Station, but on Oxygen side, it's got to be LJ. The way he's performed, even in some of the lows for Oxygen, has been a star performance for him, and he almost shot 40% in that NB series, the highest rated player on the Oxygen side. And boy, does he do a lot on the offensive side of things for Oxygen, just being a nuisance, being that instigator for the offense, and certainly doing a good job on top of the ball himself. He won't be able to hang on to it there as his team faces a bit of time on their own side. And a good clear from Gimmick gets stopped by Daniel as Space Station trying to lock in. Won't happen as Toasty pulls out.
Toasty with a flip reset saved by Daniel. Toasty had a goal in the previous series with Envy earlier today, but it was LJ who scored 7 out of the team's 10.
Wow.
And numerous clutch goals. He had the hat trick in game 1. That was just superb. And from there, he has been a force to be reckoned with. He's been neutralized here by this pressure from SSG. Not imposing his will on this game like he would like to. There's still 2 minutes plus to work with. Arsenal drop down in front. Daniel couldn't get to it, so he'll just dump this back in. Everybody's gonna go reset, get boosted up. There's plenty to work with on the orange half of the field. Reynolds takes out Gimmick. Sky went up for Arsenal, then LJ read the whole play, and he can still continue with this.
Reset.
Flip reset.
Oh
my gosh! Welcome to the RLCS indeed!
We said it, keep an eye on this young man. LJ with the flip reset with 0 boost in the tank, just enough to put it away with the dunk, and Oxygen, with all the pressure they felt, are on the board first.
Well, Daniel's experience in the RLCS so far has been good. That's one that might stick with him for a little while. He's gonna try and get right back into it though. Challenge left for Arsenal. It's gonna be Reddles up the ladder instead. Arsenal 1 demo. That takes out LJ. That's kind of the key. And he spawned near side. And Gimmick makes the save as that goes bar down, but not in.
Some close calls here for Oxygen. And this is pretty typical from Oxygen gameplay. This isn't really something special that Space Station's doing. Okay, that's not the shot you want from Gimmick. That's not typical, as 3 go up for that one as well.
I don't know. I think he had it all the way.
It's calculated. But Oxygen do tend to give up a lot of pressure to the opposition. It's either that counterattacking style or just that snake bite offense where they just very quickly put together something on target. Space Station's certainly the benefactor of the space given at the moment.
Toasty jumps out for this, and he can run downfield to try and chase this down from Gimmick. Got a piece of Daniel at least. They've kind of keyed in on Daniel, trying to make him uncomfortable. and he's got to play this one in front of his own goal, but kept that out despite Gimmick's best efforts, 35 seconds. And Daniel, who's got plenty of clutch goals of his own, not this time. Inside 30 as Reynolds takes over, and he's stuffed by Gimmick. Toasty and LJ both commit for this. LJ veered off at the last moment, and that means he can play this downfield. Toasty can as well. He may even be able to turn back around in time. Maybe not. LJ with a save off the crossbar. Down to 10 seconds. Space Station have been oh so close, yet still so far away. Final few seconds. Reynolds for Arsenal. No, sir. And Daniel has to do all he can to keep this play alive, and he has done so. Down to Reynolds. No. Oxygen hangs on. 1-0. Breathtaking.
Breathtaking indeed. The defense just barely able to hang on. You look at the stats, 8 saves on the Oxygen side. Fielding 12 shots coming out from Space Station. And you can, the stats definitely tell a story of how this game went, but the big difference was LJ to put away that flip reset, the only goal in the game. That's the game-breaking moment here for Oxygen, and a crucial moment. With all those saves, they amount to just the one chance. That's what's so special about Oxygen right now.
And that really is incredible. All those saves, and then LJ just tuning it up. Bam! The vicious dunk on the rookie. And Oxygen up 1-0. Remember, best of 7 now that we've reached this stage. And Oxygen, even going back to RLCSX, slightly different roster, only 1-5 in their best of 7 series. These longer series do not favor this team, but that was mostly the old roster. This roster is something special now with Gimmick added to the mix. Arsenal's shot blocked right in front of him. And this goes quickly downfield. LJ might have got a piece of that effort from Arsenal as Space Station starts off game 2 exactly the way they started game 1. A lot of pressure, throwing things towards the blue net, but still not finding one in the net as Toasty skies this up and away.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned the Oxygen previous roster. I think with this roster, with Gimmick, surprisingly, raised the floor, I think, for Oxygen. They're much more consistent. If they have to go through qualifiers, they're much more consistent here against 6 to 16 teams in these regional tournaments, and it certainly has improved the team. There's no way around that one for sure. And so now it's how high is the ceiling for Oxygen with Gimmick? And this is one of those big time games with that stat that you just said, they're 1-7 in best of 7s. This is the opportunity to really see, is this roster going to be a big major contender? They're certainly in position for it, but can they do it when they go up against the big boys?
Reynolds trying to drop one in front. Toasty still dishes this off to the side. Oxygen in this particular tournament, remember, they had to go through the closed qualifiers, and once they got to that stage, surprisingly, didn't have to really play anybody of note. The 3 teams they beat had a combined record of 3-9 when all was said and done. The one loss they had in their 4 rounds was to Gentlemen, who did qualify for this main event. They were ousted on Friday. So this is banked in, and Toasty just got to this for LJ. Arsenal's got to play maybe a second touch to slow everybody down, give Daniel time to get up. He's done exactly that, and Daniel plays this through even though he can't follow it thanks to Toasty's effort.
Oxygen doing a better job of getting a hold of the midfield, holding onto the ball a little bit longer when they move down the field as well, relieving that pressure on their side. But here comes Daniel threatening the second touch. It is cleaned up by Oxygen, and that's so important. When the counterattack's on for Space Station, Oxygen have a clean touch out from their end, high and away, downfield to relieve that pressure, not let Space Station clamp down, get that physical game going, because you don't let Space Station overextend. Now, LJ wants a second touch. It's not going to happen for Daniel.
Really do like the sense of urgency shown by Toasty on just about every ball. He realizes you give Daniel or anybody on this team a bunch of time and space, they will punish you from any angle. And he's not willing to let a free ball come off of any wall. He's going after everything. And so far, Space Station have not been able to punish them for it. Here goes Gimmick. Needs another touch, but he won't get one. He'll get boost, though. And now Reynolds trying to dribble through and at least wins that deep into the corner. Puts Gimmick in a real tough spot. trying to go after him as well. Arsenal centering attempt denied by Toasty. I mean, we're seeing Space Station going headhunting, but not connecting.
Yeah.
Oxygen got their heads on a swivel here. And now Toasty shot. A little roller goes through. And Oxygen leads again.
Well struck from Toasty, and I'm surprised to see Arsenal push this one back towards LJ, but it was a great read from LJ and smart sense, game sense here from Toasty. You know that defender is going to jump after you. You put it on the ground, hit with some pace, and they're up 1-0 again.
Arsenal looking for Space Station's first goal, and he won't find it there again, thanks to Toasty. Very proactive on the defense. Now Gimmick just dances right through everybody. Can't get this down in front for a shot, but now LJ, he can score from this angle and nearly did.
What an angle from LJ. This roster definitely gaining some confidence after game one. It was a little rough defensively, but they were able to put together game one. Now game two, they lead by a goal once again, and a lot less pressure coming out from Space Station. Only 2 shots from Space Station this time around. There's a minute left.
Gimmick trying to get around Arsenal, moving very quickly. But so too is Daniel. Reddles to his left. Roll one up there. LJ is tracking, but he's demolished from behind. Gimmick had to make sure to get that corner boost before Daniel could steal it. And still downfield comes Oxygen as Toasty just lets this go. Maybe Daniel gearing up for the shot. Arsenal didn't buy it. And Toasty challenging Reddles, coming out the lesser of the two. Down to 30 seconds now as Arsenal gets this clean to the backboard, but nobody else can follow up. A rare case where Space Station isn't forward and Oxygen nearly put the game away. Gimmick still trying to come in and he comes up empty. But look at how much time came off the clock there, Corelli, another 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah, and they did a good job of not overcommitting, getting antsy when you're up by 1 goal with 20 seconds left. And now Space Station got to go the length of the field. That's a good demo from Gimmick. Here comes Reddle still on the ball. He gets bumped off. Toasty to pop it up. Surely he can drop this one down. Arsenal can't get there. Oxygen 2-0 over Space Station at the moment.
Somebody go wake up Shogun. Oxygen up 2-0. They, by the way, are one of very few teams that are undefeated when they win game one. Only 5-0 this season. But that is a stat that certainly serves them well. We do have confirmation. Space Station Gaming is going to take a timeout here in just a moment as we look back at the Mobile One High Performance replay. A lot more defense and a lot of near misses, mostly on the side of Oxygen, who have definitely come to play here in our final match of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, when these guys matched up 2 weeks ago, Oxygen got a game off of Space Station, but Space Station was certainly a different team at that time. And I think this time around, it's more inspired gameplay coming out from Oxygen. Game 2, I think, was a real shower of what Oxygen brings to the table when you go up against them. LJ was great in the midfield, especially downfield in the final third. And I think Toasty and Gimmick actually do a great job switching between defensive and midfield work as well. It's maybe why Oxygen sometimes feels a little defensive, but when they get that rocket or that game downfield, they can rocket some shots at the net. It's very, very impressive from Oxygen. It's why this team, I think, again, have risen their floor from where they've been before. They've had very few wins or very few high placements up until this point. Remember, this is a team that for a while didn't even qualify for some of these regionals. They weren't a top 16 teams. They couldn't get out of closed quals. And that was something that was in RLCSX a problem for them as well. All of a sudden now, Gimmicks come on, top 6 placement, and now a top 6 placement again. And now they're sitting 2-0 over Space Station, forcing them to take a timeout and for them to kind of regroup. That's some impressive work here from Oxygen.
Yeah, this has been kind of the Cinderella story, I think, of the winter split so far. Granted, we are only 1.5 events in. But the way that Oxygen has performed, not just in this particular event, but this entire winter split, is indicative of a team that I think is kind of starting to believe a little bit. We're starting to see that with a team like Team Queso over in Europe. Once these teams start believing like, hey, wait a minute, we don't need megastars that everybody's heard of to be a top team. We just have to go win 3 games, win 4 games. How hard could it be? They're betting on themselves. It's working out here. And now we'll see. Game 3 has that timeout. Help Space Station. Can Coach Chrome get them on the winning track? And maybe slow down this momentum out of Oxygen.
They certainly need to. And game one, I think, was more of a benefit to Space Station, at least with the play style. I know Oxygen came out on top with a great play from LJ, but again, Space Station really controlled game one, the boost as well. It didn't feel like Oxygen had a lot to work with, and that's why they had to sit so defensively. See if they can regain that composure here in game three, because it's been very downhill for Space Station against Oxygen.
Oh, that's a loose ball that Reynolds threw wide. He's probably had hopes of following that up himself, but he ate a demolition. And he'll throw another to the backboard as he's quickly back into the play, and he's going after Toasty. Problem is, ball's downfield, and LJ just missed high.
Off the ball demo here from Reynolds, chasing another one. Daniel flip reset off the crossbar. Everyone having to dodge demos while Daniel has all day to work on the ball, and you certainly don't want that man behind it.
And there are a lot of explosions, but not a lot of goal explosions. Only 2 goals in this series, both coming from Oxygen. And we're in game 3. You do the math. Reynolds drops us to the corner. LJ waiting for Gimmick. Gimmick is up, and his shot blocked immediately by Arsenal. Now Toasty will have a look as Gimmick is trying to harass Reynolds. And Gimmick at least got another touch, and that slows down Space Station's counterattack. Here goes Arsenal, though. Only one to beat. He beat Toasty, and Space Station finally on the board.
I know Arsenal scored this, but Reynolds still got LJ trying to flip onto the wall to dodge the demo. Reynolds with no boost still got him. And it opened up the net for Arsenal. Of course, Arsenal's going to put that one away, but it was all Reynolds to open up that space.
11 minutes and 41 seconds. Space Station finally scored, and then Toasty goes after Daniel. This feels like one of those hockey games where you have the opening face-off, and then the puck drops. Everybody just drops their gloves and starts fighting.
It's been a physical game, like we said. Space Station does this against many opponents, but it was very obvious against Oxygen that Space Station were targeting players to chase them down. You can see Reynolds again trying to get a piece of Toasty as the ball's being played in the midfield. Reynolds gets a piece of Gimmick in the end as Space Station players' orange name tags are chasing around blue ones right now. But maybe some space here for Toasty. Didn't have boost to put something together, and now Gimmick's got to slow down the play. Again, no boost for Toasty. 2 opportunities there. They were small ones, but Space Station certainly giving them up.
Perhaps Oxygen pressing a bit much, trying to do too much with too little, but now Toasty beaten out by Reynolds. And now another demolition catches LJ in transition. He spawns near side. Pass out to Daniel. And that's going to be deflected away. And LJ thought about turning on this. He will move downfield as Gimmick finds him. Looking after Reynolds. Didn't get there. So now Arsenal. Through the air. Toasty is there as well, and he makes the stop. We don't have all of this stuff memorized, but I'm very, very curious what the combined single game record for demolitions is in an RLCS game, because we have a chance the way things are going here. It feels like the 4th of July with every single explosion, every trip down the field, it seems, except for the past 20 seconds. Teams have been playing a lot more tame until now, and Gimmick ties it.
Gimmick puts it one time on the net, but it was LJ to open up the space again. Taking out Arsenal, it's wide open at that point. Reynolds can't cut across. We're tied up.
Good grief. And this might be the longest we've gone without a demolition, because we were watching the goal replay. Daniel tracking this. Oh, he's bringing it dangerously in front. LJ got there. Gimmick can try as well. Toasty giving a look, and he'll play it from the side wall instead. Space Station has played with fire a little bit here. They've also been in the firing line. LJ underneath! What a goal!
How did he get through? There were 2 players there. There's no way that Space Station should let this one in. And LJ somehow makes it work. I don't know what happened to the communication on Space Station's side, but LJ to sneak it through, and Oxygen up by 1.
Well, when you scored as often as LJ has in this tournament, sometimes things just fall your way. That's a missed opportunity, though, for Space Station right off the kickoff. Net was open, just could not direct the shot on. And now this goes underneath. The shot's going to be wide. And LJ being chased by Arsenal. That seems to be the plan. Go with what got you here, physical play. And it still has not been enough. They have been out-muscled by Oxygen so far. Daniel's shot snipes the corner, and we're tied again.
What a shot from Daniel. Sets himself up off the ceiling. 15 boost on the flip. Toasty just had no chance at the ball. Didn't even think he could get that type of shot on target. Daniel and the Fennec ties it up.
I don't think anybody thought that shot was on, except maybe Daniel.
Even he might have been doubting himself on that one.
Uh-oh, Arsenal won this ball, and Gimmick controls from the backboard. Reddles now bumped out of the play. Daniel staying alive with it. Got a piece of the ceiling, so he can recover a little faster as Arsenal floats one on. A little high. Now 20 seconds. Gimmick pops over Daniel. Toasty with LJ to his right. Maybe a little close. They couldn't get Arsenal on the way up. Race to the corner boost. Arsenal got plenty to work with. Reddles moving downfield. He's got a blocker, and it's off the post. Saved by Gimmick, and there's still time. Gimmick downfield. This will touch down, and we go to overtime. Oh, Space Station should have won it.
They got the demo and everything. LJ was out of the play. The shot just needed to be on target. And into overtime we go. Space Station trying to make this one a series. Oxygen have really flipped it on its head. I mean, obviously, nobody thought Oxygen was going to win in this one. It was
12% of chat.
Yeah, I was about to say 80+% in favor of Space Station, yet Oxygen looking for their third win in this best of 7. But they're going to have to field this shot. LJ, awkward, will throw it over to Gimmick, trying to set something up. LJ can't go once again. He's got no boost. And now it's up to Toasty. Maybe a second touch looming. Lets it go, and Arsenal clears it away.
Yeah, but it does not reach the back wall. LJ bringing it right back in. Oxygen trying to keep up the pace. But a demolition has kind of thrown things out of whack. That's going to be a little wide. And the first minute of overtime will finally pass. Nobody breaking the 2-2 deadlock. Daniel got a lot to work with. He's got Arsenal, more importantly, and Gimmick recognized that, made the stop. Now Daniel, demo, ball, still at his flip, and everybody misses here, and Toasty just plays it across. Another instance where you thought maybe this one should have ended, but it does not.
Gimmick got bumped when he went up for it. That's why he missed. But the shooter of Space Station, I don't know how they missed. They might have been reading Gimmick. Either way, we keep going. A minute and a half into overtime. Arsenal trying to threaten. Oh, he almost pinches it in. That one went wide. And now Toasty. He'll try his luck against Reddles. LJ, the shooter, a second touch. Arsenal can't get it. Gimmick's there and cleared away by Reddles.
Oh, Daniel almost ran onto that, and if he did, it might have been game again. Oxygen have watched game 3 flash before their very eyes multiple times, but still Space Station have not found that crucial strike. Another one bounced in that Gimmick sends back into Space Station territory, and Gimmick can steal the boost. Oh, he was looking for Toasty. Instead, it finds Arsenal, who then needs a demolition for his efforts, and there are just more and more demos. I haven't seen an extermination icon pop up yet, and I'm stunned. There must be at least 2 players on 6 right now.
Well, I think that's how distributed the demos have been. It's been everyone. It hasn't just been 1 or 2 players.
LJ!
It's been LJ to put one away. I'm surprised he went through again somehow. He's got the secret sauce to move through Space Station. And look at this flip to throw off Arsenal. Oxygen 3-0 up in the series.
Arsenal had no idea that he had that shot in him. He was tracking, and then all of a sudden the shot just looked like it came as a surprise. Oxygen Esports, 3 one-goal victories, 1-0, 1-0, 3-2. And had it been any other stage in the tournament, it'd be ball game. But they still need one more. Boy, looking at that shot from LJ, it doesn't get any less pretty. It doesn't get old at all. That was just phenomenal. And then the winner. Incredible. LJ has been Superman in this tournament.
He's been stellar. I mean, it was one of the reasons why a lot of people picked him to move up to one of the top teams when options came available. I mean, there's a reason that people were talking about this guy in the offseason, but he sticks with his squad. They bring in a new player like Gimmick, and now you're seeing those results. They're one game away from taking down Space Station, a very important game for them to push them further in this tournament, of course, but to prove to themselves, to their fans, to them, to us, that they can beat these top teams, hot teams like Space Station, who were, looking to lock in their major qualification here today. Certainly will have more opportunities down the line, but to slow them down and to force them onto match point and a sweep here in a best of 7, that's a statement type game here for Oxygen if they could pull it together.
The runner-up of the X Games Open on the ropes in the NASCAR Rocket League 351, and Gimmick gets his second goal of the series, and Oxygen's on him early.
And LJ, again, just chasing down Reynolds, and he didn't make great contact with him, but he hit him enough to let Gimmick come through and push that one home. Oxygen, the physicality, when we talked about it from Space Station, I was not expecting it here from Oxygen, especially on offense, to be so abrasive on those last men on the line. They've done a great job of fighting fire with fire here, and they're doing it better than Space Station.
Oxygen Esports now 4 minutes plus away from eclipsing the 400-point mark in the winter standings. And it would be hard to bet against them for a winter major spot. Toasty down to Gimmick, and everybody crisscrosses, but nobody makes contact as Daniel will sky this up and away. Daniel from the side. It's on target technically, but LJ has an easy clear.
Almost the inverse of what we saw from these two teams the last time they played 2 weeks ago. It was Space Station that came out hot. And Oxygen were able to win one game. Now Space Station looks to win one here, but not a second touch to come through. Toasty fakes the clear. Reynolds will just take it away. And now Gimmick called upon with low boost. Will just poke it away. LJ on the ball. Can't hold on to it, or can't catch up to it, rather. And now in a tough spot, we'll blow it over to Toasty, who wants that back wall as Arsenal to clear it home.
Arsenal dunks Gimmick, but it means very little. LJ might have a line on this. Oh, everybody just let that ball go through. Just the threat of a challenge was enough. Gimmick and LJ, they'll crisscross back and forth, but nothing there. Now Daniel, got to add one to the highlight reel. Not this time. Reynolds will have a look. Flip over one. What? Gimmick still makes the save from the ceiling of the goal. An angelic save keeps Space Station off the board.
And he was the last man standing too. LJ and Toasty got demoed. And now Gimmick will finally bite the dust. Now again a double demo comes out, but Space Station still can't
get the most important one.
They can't put it on target either. There's no shot coming out, no threat. Just a couple of demos. And Oxygen halfway through this game holding on.
Oxygen Esports out to prove that their performance a couple weeks ago was not a fluke. I'm sold. This is pop downfield, intercepted by Toasty. And he has been, like, we've been singing LJ's praises, of course. We've talked about Gimmick, of course. The new addition and how he has elevated this roster. Toasty, on and off the ball, has been phenomenal. And without his defense, without his sense of urgency, just not giving Space Station time to do anything, this is a very different tale. Reynolds does score, ties up this game, and now we get into crunch time with 1:48 to go. Great feed from Arsenal as Reynolds equalizes.
Great first challenge by Arsenal, and then the second one to slow down LJ, and LJ really got inside of his own head, thinking Arsenal could do more with it on that back wall than he could. And a great dish out to Reynolds is an easy shot for him to put home. Of course, some physicality in that play as well, as Reynolds still chasing Oxygen players. 1.5 minutes left, and Space Station slowly winding up the offense. But here comes LJ. He wants to secure this win. It's not going to happen here, as Toasty will pop it up and Space Station to clear it out.
History not on the side of Space Station Gaming here. This Oxygen team, as we mentioned, has not lost this season after winning game 1. There has also never been a best-of-7 reverse sweep in North American RLCS. Daniel got other plans as Space Station Gaming's in front with just over a minute to go.
Daniel again being bought space by the man downfield. It was Reynolds this time to push Toasty out of the way. That time just a bump to spin him out. And Daniel did well to keep his composure behind the ball, trusting his teammates' call-outs, as I'm sure Reynolds was screaming that he had the bump. And with a minute left to play, Space Station trying to hang on in this series. It hasn't been pretty for them. Oxygen have certainly been a surprise, as they've been pretty comfortable here in this matchup. Previously, has not been the case today. Maybe a shot here. Reynolds will put it home. It's 3-1 Space Station.
And important, not just that it goes in for an insurance goal, but emphatically in. Upper right corner, exactly where it had to be, else LJ might have caught up to it. And Reynolds might have just put game 4 away and bought Space Station another 5 minutes here in this tournament. Toasty and Reynolds take each other out. They are certainly not out of the woods just yet here. Toasty will have to leave that for LJ. Gimmick trailing to the left, waiting to see what LJ does, and he forced that ball through, but fortunately for Space Station, well wide of the target. Toasty lobs one in. LJ might have got a piece of Reynolds there. It's available for Toasty, and he can't do much with it. Down to 15 seconds. That's popped away, and Toasty can't keep this in. It is a free ball for Reynolds and Space Station, and they're going to take game 4.
Yeah, that one just came out because Oxygen was really forcing the issue. Gimmick and LJ both cutting in rotation a couple times just to keep that play on the Space Station side. It was going to be a loss either way in the end. Oxygen, or excuse me, Space Station doing a good job to lock things down defensively. A 4-1 scoreline here. 8 shots for Space Station in this game. And I think a return to form as they finally get one on the board here. They're not going to be swept out of this one quite yet, but boy, it has been an uphill battle for Space Station, and it's going to continue to be that way if they're going to come back into this.
All right, now Space Station, we have had this conversation, I believe, during the fall split, and it probably happened on a Friday. If you are going to win a game when you're down 0-3 or on match point, then you darn well better win the rest of them. Otherwise, you have wasted all of our time here. So Space Station Gaming, they win 1. It's still a long, arduous road ahead as we move on into game 5.
It certainly is. And I think that Space Station, I think they slowly started to figure it out here. Again, they went back to that physical play. I think a lack of physical play came out from Oxygen. But I like what I saw when it comes to the bumps and demos downfield as that first man. A lot of times it's Reynolds, sometimes it's been Arsenal as well. And letting Daniel do his work behind the ball, right? Knowing that, okay, my player downfield is going to get the bump. I can move up into the midfield with the ball, and a lot of times that's worked for Space Station. Obviously, the shooting has been a lot better in that game, and I think that's been the key, because Oxygen will they'll let you have that space. They'll give that space up to you. Space Station, it's on them to take advantage.
We go now to Wasteland for game 5. Another must win as Gimmick makes that save off of Reynolds' challenge that found itself netward. Toasty drops one in front. Arsenal's waiting for it, and Toasty stayed with the play to keep Space Station off the board early. Space Station took their timeout down 2-0 after a pair of 1-0 losses. They dropped game 3, but you could see there was definitely a change in play style, just a little bit. They were much more physical. That has persisted, and it finally, at long last, got them a dub. Now we'll see how Oxygen recovers following an L. They still have, of course, match point, championship Sunday point that they're facing here as LJ skies this away, and more importantly for them, perhaps they still have their timeout in their pocket should they need it.
Yeah, that's a crucial thing as well for Oxygen. I don't think that last game was catastrophic for them. Space Station just, I think, elevated their game. Oxygen certainly had opportunities to keep that one close. Now an opportunity here. LJ winning a couple challenges, still keeping it dangerous. Arsenal with low boost. Can't get after it, and everyone gets back for Oxygen, as they don't want to force the issue too early here in this game. Toasty giving help to Gimmick. They'll get the pinch as Space Station not really threatened here by Oxygen quite yet.
Well, this skips around, and LJ is downfield, so Arsenal had to jump in front. just to drop that to the corner. Quickly played across by Reynolds as he can continue on, and now LJ doing all he can to control this ball, and he does so brilliantly. Only as far as midfield, though. Daniel up to the backboard, no rebound. This goes way out to LJ, and then all the way across off of Reynolds. Boy, the ball moving around a little faster than we're used to, even with these two teams out there. Daniel stealing, trying to drop it off for anybody. There's nobody there except LJ, who just seems to be everywhere right now in Game 5.
He really is. He's zipping around the field, both offensively and defensively.
Well, now he's nowhere.
And he's always the first guy down the field as well. Been the point man in many attempts for Oxygen. This time again on the ball, just tossing it towards the net. And he was given a gift there if he didn't go for boost. As I don't blame him. Don't expect the opposition on the goal line to give it to you. Tough spot here, and again on the ball, sneaks away with it. Full boost, into the sky he goes. Got Toasty in front, tried to get the bump on Arsenal. Didn't come out, and Arsenal does well to push that one out. Now the quick shot from Reynolds is easily saved by Gimmick, and Space Station transitioning onto offense here.
I love how bold Space Station's being on offense, too. And granted, I wouldn't. Look, I'm bad. I admit it. They are just diving in, going for the demo to clear things up. And then the shot, like this from Arsenal, as he just beats the defense on the left side, and Space Station are alive in Game 5.
Woo! Look at this shot from Arsenal, and Toasty, he knew which way to go. He was even facing the right way, but still couldn't catch back up to it. What a shot coming out from Arsenal. He talked about being bold, and that's the bold shots that you're going to need when you have space. Now Daniel on the ball, has an opportunity, wants the musty. Not going to happen as LJ turns it away.
He had thrown off the Oxygen defense, but just not good enough. Oh, Toasty's got a free ball that he can do whatever he wants with, and it's blocked away by Arsenal. They were looking for Gimmick. He was coming across. Now Daniel back the other way. Arsenal can't become a factor just yet. There's LJ. Oh, he skied one up, and Daniel's got a free ball. Double on the way, and he scores.
You just can't do that, Stacks. You really can't pop that one up, and I think the pass was supposed to be intended for Toasty, but it was way too close to Daniel, and you know he's going to put away a double tap if you leave him uncontested. 2-0 up for Space Station, and things going very much downhill here for Oxygen. You start to think about, you give yourself self-doubt on the Oxygen side when the games start to go like this, especially when you've been on match point. Space Station certainly ramping up. See if Oxygen maybe put one away. Here comes LJ as he's getting a couple touches off the back wall, but still can't put one on target. Gimmicks tries to, but coming up on a minute left, and Space Station up by 2.
There are some of you that probably texted your friends and said, yo, RLCS is over. I'll be there in about 10 minutes. You might want to text them again and go, RLCS ain't quite over yet. I might be another 10 minutes. Arsenal to the backboard where LJ's got to try and start a counterattack. This team has been stifled over the last 10 minutes of gameplay. Toasty with full boost, but he's got to spend a lot of it on the back line, trying to slow down Space Station, not really moving downfield at all. This is intercepted as well, and this is a very different series than it was 10 minutes ago. Now it's Space Station in the driver's seat, back against the wall, no problem, as they have dominated games 4 and now 5. Now 15 seconds away from getting another opportunity. Neo Tokyo, ever so closer now, as Oxygen cannot get out of the starting blocks against Space Station in their closeout opportunities. Game 6, here we come.
Wow. Only one shot, maybe 2 there at the end from Oxygen. In that entire game, Space Station shut them down. No, it was just 1 from LJ as the stats come up.
Wild.
Only 1 coming out from LJ, and Oxygen, they at least were able to get more shots than that. Much more successful with their offense in the shooting department. This time, Space Station does a good job putting away their opportunities, and we will get a timeout coming out from Oxygen. You talked about that, alluded to it a little bit there, Stacks. I think it's a great time for Oxygen to do so. You see Sad Jr. up there, the coach for Oxygen, getting the boys settled in. As they might have to buckle up for a longer series here, as Space Station certainly turning it on.
Yeah, we've seen a shift in how these timeouts are used, by the way. A lot of teams, when they timeouts are first introduced, they would wait until it was match point, and it's like, man, by then, it's like, dude, it's 3-0. You haven't done anything for 15 minutes. I don't think a timeout's going to fix that. Then we started seeing teams do it, on the second to last possible game. Heck, in APAC, I think we saw a timeout after a team lost a game. They're like, no. Let's reset things here. Now we're going to Neo Tokyo. And now it's Sad Jr., who has to get his troops rallied and ready to go for Game 6, the third closeout opportunity. By the way, the one shot you mentioned, Corelli, that Oxygen had in that game, their lowest they've had in a single game this season. And they've played 70 of them. It's the only time they've been held to just one shot.
Wow. And that's why that stat is really, without even knowing what you just said, Stacks, the way Oxygen has played, even in their previous iterations of this roster when Krasix was still here for Gimmick, they were a team that would put on a lot of pressure and a lot of shots, regardless if they're winning or losing. They just put on shots towards the net. So for them to only put up one really gives over credit to, I think, Spacestation, who did a really good job of closing them down, shutting them down. You can see in the highlights here from the Mobile One High Performance replay, did a really good job of cutting off the passing lanes as well for Oxygen. Weren't able to find each other with that first and second man downfield. So it's a lot of credit going over to Space Station. I think they've calmed down, they've settled into this series, and they've done a better job of slowing down Oxygen and making it harder for them to put away any opportunities that may come.
All right. Oxygen shuts down Space Station Gaming to knock them out of the tournament. Take 3, lights, camera, action. We're ready to go on Neo Tokyo. Space Station Gaming trying to do what no North American team has done in regular season RLCS play. Toasty twirling through, gimmick shot, saved by Arsenal as well. He had to navigate through traffic. And now it's Space Station that has to weather the early storm from Oxygen.
It's a good start for Oxygen. It's certainly what they need. Have to find this early goal. Have to find that early mental reset as well. Dropping the last 2 games, getting this first goal is huge just for the morale of the team. And right now, having the opportunity to do so, can't get that pop over Reddles. And now Oxygen back in their own corner.
Oxygen has slowed down just a little bit. Maybe a little snake bitten, maybe just a little more hesitant. And being forced to give Space Station a little extra respect. Toasty has not slowed down much, though. He's got that ball, and he's got a boost deal out of the corner. And he can actually run onto this one, if not for the efforts of Daniel. This kicks out, and LJ has the bank downfield right at Daniel. And they can't give him this much space. He's going to pick him apart, but not this time.
Still some good offense, some good control here from Space Station. Again, very similar to the previous game. Now a double flip reset here from Daniel, and it's a shame he didn't have more boost. Could have done a little bit more there. A couple of clean flip resets with some space. Now Arsenal, pass over to Daniel again off the backboard, looking for another touch. Gimmick breaks it up. A minute and a half in, still scoreless, but Space Station certainly knocking on the door.
All right, Toasty defended that real well as well. Now Daniel and Reddles kind of crossing in the air, and it almost opened up an opportunity for Oxygen. That word almost carries a lot of weight. Daniel to the back wall, going headhunting. Couldn't get anybody. But now Reddles right back in. Trying to get anything at all in front of the Oxygen net. Make them uncomfortable, make them panic a little bit. The pressure is certainly mounting on this Oxygen squad. It's a different story when you're up 3-0 compared to now 3-2, having missed 2 opportunities to close them out. LJ, right on target. All 3 in net for Space Station, and now they break out. Daniel, pinch downfield. Arsenal will be a little slow getting there, but he's won this challenge, and not much else. Might have got a piece of a defender going by. He might have got some boost as well. He's trying to insert himself into this game, become a huge factor. This is downfield, but too slow as Arsenal catches up.
Oh, that's a great clear from Arsenal. Now he's bought himself some space. Can he bring this one down? Ran out of boost, so he couldn't do much with it. Even if he did, an Oxygen there to clean it up, throw it downfield. See if they can put something on for the offense. LJ, he's been a master in the challenges here today. winning so many crucial midfield challenges as well as offensive challenges in the final third. LJ again, just to toss it downfield. Happy to do so as Space Station picks it up and goes back the other way.
Oh, Gimmick shot just a little high. And that's been the one problem that Oxygen has had as the series has gone on. The shots from LJ missing just a bit high. Gimmick that time. Now Toasty denied by Arsenal. And an opportunity for Space Station. They jump in front here. Alarm sirens are going to go off in the minds of Oxygen players and their fans for sure. That's a great hesitation though by LJ. Doesn't have anybody to pass to, however. Now he can get one out to Toasty, and that's well defended by SSG. How about this though? Daniel skies it up. Toasty's got a full tank of boost. He's going to use it. No, he's not. Reynolds took him out, and he's still in a shooting position downfield, but instead lets that go to the corner with a minute to go.
And that's what's really annoying about Reynolds is you can't tell if he's playing the ball or you. And a lot of times it is you, but he disguises it really nicely. And that time, Toasty thought maybe he could sneak it under Reynolds, but Reynolds didn't care about the ball. He was just like, no, Arsenal! What? I thought for sure Arsenal had this one. You saw the shot come through. He faked the challenge and then saw Toasty on the flip. He landed and couldn't get back to it. Arsenal out of position that time. The shot just perfect to get by with 46 seconds left.
The most unluckiest of timings. And now 40 seconds to make good on it. Reynolds from the wing. Another hesitation play, but it doesn't work out. Daniel wide. Tried to get a piece of LJ. There was no shot forthcoming, though. As Gimmick plays that into the corner. There's a demo, though. Arsenal ties it! Got it right back with 25 to go!
Redemption for Arsenal, and that's great work. Great control from Reynolds. Look how many touches he gets on the side wall. That was 3 to keep this ball in, and the last one was a perfect pass out to Arsenal. Space Station are back in it.
With 25 seconds, overtime looming, Champions Field looming, and maybe some history here in North America. That corner boost left free for Arsenal to take from the Oxygen half. This drops right down. Reynolds to play. Hero denied by LJ. Down to 5 seconds before we go to overtime. Gimmick doing everything he can to get this to the ground. He can't. Daniel got Toasty. Drop down for Reynolds. No, LJ clears and we go to OT.
Wow. So close there for Space Station. Oxygen just treading water in those final seconds, but a reset here might help them. LJ, could he go the distance? Looking for the dunk, does find the backboard. Gimmick on the shot. Daniel makes the save. A huge opportunity right off the rip for Oxygen, and the defense just barely hangs on for Space Station.
LJ with the flip reset to just try and slow things down. Gimmick has Toasty waiting oh so patiently, and now Toasty's got to press the issue. This comes out to LJ, and Daniel recognized that. Knew he had to jump out there. Toasty may have had plans of going to the ceiling with this. Reynolds and Daniel, as Daniel come back off the respawn. That's good communication. Those demos, they can wreak havoc on your comms. It worked out perfectly as the first minute almost by, and both teams have had their looks. Gimmick for LJ, and Arsenal shut the door right in front.
Still lots of opportunities. The game certainly has sped up here in this overtime. Now Toasty, can he go the distance? Wants the bump. This one's still a weak ball. Gimmick will take a shot. Toasty trying to play in front of Arsenal, but he gets a good clear. And Space Station are able to get out.
Demo, but Daniel does not get this to a teammate. Everybody spawned back in, but it's still a little chaotic down in front.
Arsenal!
Daniel Arsenal forces game 7.
Oh man, he's excited about that one. Jumping out of his chair. You can see the players are hyped, and for good reason. They're still in it. They're not going down without a fight, Stack. Space Station holding on, and another overtime win.
There are no timeouts left. Now it's just 60 seconds to figure out how to stop this perhaps unstoppable wave of momentum. Space Station Gaming, dead in the water 15 minutes ago, has forced game 7.
It's pure guts and determination at this point, Stacks. Like you said, with no more timeouts, there's no more opportunities to reset, to slow down the opposition. It's what you bring out in this game 7. And Oxygen, they've been this close for so long in this series, for 3 games, and they haven't been able to close it out. This was maybe the closest, and still Space Station able to come out on top. Game 7, and at what could be a very crucial game down the line when you talk about major qualification. This could be the deciding factor between making it or not, especially for Oxygen, with the way they've been playing. Comes down to one final game, Stacks.
It does. Only the 3rd best of 7 perfect sweep setup in North American RLCS history, but bear this in mind. Space Station Gaming 0-3 in Game 7s this season as we go to Champions Field now, brought to you by NASCAR. What a finish here of Day 2 of the NASCAR Rocket League 351. How many times have we been to Champions Field today? Has it been 3 now?
Something like that. And this one might be the most heart-wrenching one for either side. Oxygen, who has just played amazingly against a team like Space Station. And for Space Station, a team that has just battled back. Now an opportunity here for Toasty. He's got to slot it. Reynolds comes down from the backboard to make the save. Still opportunity. Reynolds got bumped again. And Gimmick to put it home for Oxygen. They're in the lead first.
Don't underestimate how comfortable this Oxygen team might be on this field. They brought Turbo here a little while ago. That was a reverse sweep effort, if memory serves correctly, that they shut down in Game 5. Daniel wins the kickoff cleanly here for Space Station, and Reynolds' shot deflected by Gimmick, and it just goes off the bar, and it's looking very much like Game 1 as LJ makes an incredible save coming down.
Oxygen again. Oh, that's a big miss from Daniel. The defense holding strong, and now maybe an opportunity. A traded demo between Arsenal and Toasty is on the opposite side of the field, so Daniel trying to find space. Toasty to the midfield. Gimmick to pop it up for LJ. Dangerous spot here for Space Station. Flip reset looming. Tries to get back to it and is not able to. A weak shot will come out from Toasty as Space Station tries to regroup. You look at the resume here, Stacks, for Oxygen in this bracket so far. 3-1 over version 1. Game 5 win over Envy, the one you were just alluding to. They have taken down some good teams, and they're trying to add Space Station to their resume. The 3 minutes, 15 seconds left. That's what they got to do to hang on.
Reynolds out of the corner for Arsenal, and the longtime duo does not connect on a goal yet, but they're still threatening. Oh, that falls right to Toasty, though, and a big break for Oxygen. They can clear the zone and relieve the pressure. LJ stuffed by Arsenal as he got back in a hurry. And now Toasty, a little wave dash to try and recover and go after Daniel, who ducked into the goal.
Midfield presence certainly better here for Oxygen. Slowing down Space Station, not letting them quickly move through that midfield. Still hasn't been perfect from them. Here's Daniel with a bit of space. Off the side wall, looking for a flip reset. Does get it, gets by 1. LJ called upon to make the save and will do so as Space Station tries to collect and put something back together. Reynolds does a good job to beat 1. It's Toasty to clear it again.
Oh, that's a decent ball by Daniel, if not for Toasty being right there in the right place at the right time. And now this is awkward. Gimmick quickly downfield. Easy stop by Arsenal. More importantly, got that over to Daniel and did not let Oxygen set up on the offensive end. One more Oxygen goal might be crippling here. Gimmick deep into the corner. Reynolds playing this dangerously close to the front, and Arsenal takes over. And no panic out of SSG in Game 7.
Certainly not. Plenty of time still for Space Station. As Toasty doing a great job. Here comes Gimmick. Daniel very calmly takes this one away. To the sky he goes. Boost to work with. Arsenal getting bumped by LJ. Daniel wants the dunk. A minute and a half, or just under it. Oxygen not breaking. Bending for sure, but not breaking against this Space Station offense.
We've seen them score as late as 25 seconds, as was the case in Game 6. Arsenal went from maybe being the scapegoat to perhaps the GOAT. He scored the equalizer and the winner, and now Daniel coming through with a minute to go.
It's not Arsenal who's the GOAT, Stacks. It's Daniel, and what a touch here. My goodness, right through the defense, and nobody there was fast enough to close him down. 1 minute and 1 second left on the clock. We're tied up.
60 seconds left on the clock.
Again, it has not happened in North America in the RLCS. No best of 7 reverse sweeps. Space Station vying to be the first. And this is probably as close as anybody's gotten. Gimmick, though, just screening Daniel. Right on the side wall, and LJ makes a crucial save. Reynolds is still in position, and Arsenal was lurking if Gimmick was a little sloppy with this play. This is still dangerous in front. Toasty in an impossible spot, and Gimmick bails out Oxygen.
How did Oxygen not get scored on there? I feel like we keep asking that. Now quickly, here they are in front of the Space Station net. They're panicking to get this one out. 2 players chasing after it. Oxygen also double committing here in the corner. Here comes one out to LJ looking for the back wall. 10 seconds left at Space Station looking to have the last laugh.
Oxygen Esports in this series, no matter what happens, has put up the worst, greatest defense of all time. Overtime in Game 7 on Champions Field. Brought to you by NASCAR. Wouldn't have it any other way.
11 shots for Space Station, only 3 for Oxygen. This one bounces out. Tough ball here for the defense. Toasty bites on it and uses all of his boost. Gimmick, not the best clear. This one off the back wall. Space Station hunting. Not going to dive onto that one quite yet, as Oxygen are able to break out.
LJ corner, Toasty, and again denied by Arsenal. Another one popped by Reynolds, but now Arsenal's got to play here. No, Reynolds got to that one too. Standing on his head, proverbially, as he keeps Oxygen off the board. Oh, just everything. Edge of your seat stuff at this point, though. Gimmick's got to race back as Reynolds nearly got the shot off.
Space for Arsenal to work with. Space Station trying to put something together. This was a free ball coming out from LJ. He'll just blast it downfield and gives possession back to Reynolds. Great clear from here. LJ will cut this one out.
Oh, Gimmick needs boost.
And so does LJ. He's only got 20. This one, does he poke it free? Daniel pokes it free! It's been completed! Space Station, a reverse sweep and a best of 7. It's Daniel again to come up clutch. And they do the impossible here in North America.
Ever since Gimmick respawned in, he was just desperately looking for boost anywhere on the pitch, and he could not find a single big pad. Nothing available,